Now let's see what are parameters or arguments. So your parameters and arguments are same thing, right? It is the information that is passed to a function. But from function perspective, if we try to see, parameter is the variable that is listed in the function definition. Okay, and arguments are the value that is sent to the function during the function call. So parameters are the arguments, or you can say the variables that are within the parenthesis during the function definition when we are defining the function. Arguments are the variables or values which is sent to the function during function call. Then comes positional arguments. So positional arguments are the arguments that need to be included in proper position or order. That is, the argument which has to occur first has to be at the first position. The argument which has to occur second has to be at the second position. So I'll just let you know how to do that. Okay. So here we were talking about in the last video we have to define a function called percentage, which was taking full marks and the marks scored. Now we are taking marks scored as the first parameter of the function, and here we are taking second parameter as the full marks. Now if in case I, like for example, I scored 25 out of 40. Okay, so I should write 25 first because the function is asking the marks scored first. I should write 25 first and then I should write 40. But instead of that, I am writing 40 first and then I am writing 25. And if I run this, my answer is 160. So the essence of the percentage function is null and void if we do not maintain the position of the variable passed, right? Because the first position always is by marks scored and the second position is of full marks. So you need to understand that the arguments whatever we are passing is of positional in nature. The position matters. Okay, so now let's see about the number of arguments. So when we are talking about number of arguments, we need to very clearly keep in mind that the function call should always contain the number of arguments which is there present at the function definition. For example, if we are going to call a sum function which has two parameters, the sum function should always have two arguments while calling. If we will have less than two arguments, you'll get the error. If more than two arguments, still you will get the error. So let's see here. Like for example, percentage was there and I'm writing 50. So more than two arguments I'm giving, I'll get the error that it takes two positional argument, but three were given. Okay, this is the error. Now if I give only one, it will give you the error that one argument is missing. So you need to keep in mind that whenever we are calling a function, the number of arguments should be same as prescribed in the function definition. Then comes our arbitrary argument. If you don't know how many arguments will be passed to your function, we can just add star before the parameter name and then pass numbers while calling that function. Here, that variable can have the values at the index of 0, 1, 2 and 3, so on. Like if I don't know how much, let it be, I want to calculate the average. Okay, so this program is for average. So I'm declaring a function. So it is def average bracket, I don't know how many numbers will it pass. Okay, so I'll just write n and and I'll write n and colon, and I can just write s equals to n of 0 plus n of 1 plus n of 2. Okay, so this is the thing, and a equals to s divided by 3 and return a, and I will run this and I'll call this function. So avg bracket 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay, so if I run, I'll get answer 5. But now if I give more than 3, like here 3 numbers were mentioned, so if I give more than 3, let's see what happens. There will be 5, 10, and run. 5 is the answer. This 10 is not taken because you are giving extra element. It will not give you error. It will only take 3 numbers and will do its work. But yes, if you are giving less than, let's see what happens. It will give you a error. So while in arbitrary argument you can give more than the prescribed number which is used, but not less. Okay. Now the last topic is your default parameter. Now default parameters are the parameters if function do not pass the value, that default value is taken. So let's see here in this table. Like full marks, let the default value of full marks be 40. So if I will pass only 25 and I will not give value of full marks, I will run this. I will not get error, I will get the percentage. But if I give 100 here, so it will take out the marks from 100. Okay, so if I pass, then that value will be taken. If I don't pass, the value of full marks 40 will be taken. Let me run and show it again. Like I give, so if I give just 25 and run, 40 is taken as full marks. But if I give 100 here and run, 100 is taken as full marks. So this is the essence of default argument, that if you don't pass the value at the default will be taken. It will not give you error. Elsewise, previously it was giving error. Let's see the return statement. So the return statement is used to exit a function. Go back to the place from where it was called. This statement can contain an expression that gets evaluated and returned. If there is no expression in the function, what will happen? None object will be returned. So let's see here return. So when you are writing return in the body of the function, like for example here, if you are writing return, the value is returned. In this question you are not writing return, so what is returned? None value is returned. Yes, one more thing I need to explain you, like let it be. Yeah, this is the function. Now I just write the body of the function is written here only, and then print calculation done. Okay. Okay. So when we run this, what happens actually? I also need to write print. When I run this, what happens? Just see. This is a function. We call the function. After the function is called, it is returned, it will go to the next line. So it says that return function always passes the control. Okay, passes the control to the line which is after the line of the function call. So once we write this line is encountered, that is the function call. It will go to the function, it will execute all. After execution, the function will return to the next line which has called the function, means next line of the function call. That's why calculation done is printed here. Okay. Now let's talk about the new topic, that is scope and lifetime of the variable. Now scope of a variable is the portion of a program where the variable is recognized. Okay, so scope is the portion of the program where the variable is recognized. Parameters and variables defined inside of functions are not visible from outside the functions. They have local scope. Okay. The lifetime of a variable is the period throughout which the variable exists in the memory. The lifetime of variable inside a function is as long as function executes. They are destroyed once we return from the function. Hence, a function does not remember the value of the variable from its previous call. So here is an example. If we have a function def square which returns you the square of the number, so it takes x and in x only it stores the value of x square and it returns. Here we have x equals to 20, that is outside the function. So if the variable is defined inside a block means indented form, it is local in scope. So here the value x, though the name of the variables are same, but here this x has local scope and this has global. Global why? Because it is not in any indentation or block. Now square x, print value outside the function x. So when we call square x, it prints what? 400. But when we are printing this x, the global x, it prints you 20. Here we can see that the value of x is 20 initially. Even though the function square changed the value of x to 400, it does not affect the value outside the function. This is because variable x inside the function is local and outside the function is global, and they both are different. Okay, although they have same names but they have different scopes. So the variable that is outside the function has a global scope because it is not defined in any indentation, but here the x has local scope. So we will see this through an example. So let's write a program. So let it be def, we will use a simple variable, let it be def ret function, which will take a value n, or forget that, it will just write x equals to 30. Okay, print x. The work of this function is only this much. Now here I will write x equals to 100 and then I will call ret and then I will print x, the same value, or I can just write here local. Okay, and here I'll write global, so you'll just know the value. Okay, now I'll run this function. So you can see the value of local variable x is 30 and of global is 100. So what happens is it executes these three lines, then it comes to this line x equals to 100, then it goes to ret will call this function, x is 30, it will print the local x here, and then will come again return back to the line after the function call here, and then it will print this line. So this is the thing of global and local. That means you have a same name, but if it is inside a indentation, it is local to that indentation. So that means it is inside the indentation of def ret, so it is local to ret function. But here it is not in any indentation, that means it is a global variable. So this one is your global variable and this one is your local variable. Okay, this is all about local and global. scopes.